a mentally unstable, violent, and alcoholic who had the habit of erupting into violence under the influence of drugs. That was a German government official. My name is Kevin, and this is History Goon. What's going on, everybody? We're back, and if you haven't noticed, if you're on video, you'll notice I've got a person
or if you were listening, there was some other music coming up there.
Holy crap!
What
How'd that happen?
Did I just blast the hell out of you?
You scared me. You scared me, Bill. You're fuzzy there for a second, and I'm like, oh my god, he's back. So this week I am joined by Bill from the
Crimes, Killers, Cults,
and Beer podcast that I also am a semi-permanent temporary co-host for occasionally.
Something like that. and I appreciate the hell out of it. Kevin, you've really helped me get this, the show afloat. But since this is going to come out on CKCB before it comes out on History Goon.
Or is it?
Oh, I don't know. We'll find out. This is going out for Saturday or Sunday is when this will be going out on my end.
Okay, so what I'll do is I will plan on dropping this one next in my line so that it'll have... well, spoiler alert, everybody that's listening to my show. You're going to get Nazis. Like, a couple of them pretty frequently, unfortunately.
Well, I need to explain what's going on here. For the past, like, on and off last year, and then like all of this year so far, with the exception of one episode that I did as an interview, with a cult survivor. Kevin here has taken over my show. He's been the main talker on it. So if you listeners of History Goon, if you want to hear him do more stuff that you might not like, maybe talking about a serial killer or something like that, he's on my show talking about it. The reason for that is he had the notes from his old podcast. I needed content and everything. I'm trying to make everything happen with my co-host Sandra, and unfortunately I've been saying Sandra's going to be back. Well, unfortunately scheduling issues are not going to be able to be resolved, and she is not returning. But that's not saying that you might see her again later on down the road as a guest or something like that. But I am looking for a new co-host, and so which means that
if there's anybody out there,
yeah. If you want to be the co-host of CKCB with me, then
if you're looking to break into the podcasting industry, Bill has got a great opportunity for you.
Depending on how you look at it.
Bill, look down in the bottom corner of your thing.
Oh, hey, it's Bill.
Every time I host, when I have you come on, I have to do something goofy like that. I think the last time was my name Bill.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm so in the meantime, Kevin's probably going to be doing more episodes, and I have yet to host an actual episode on my show so far this year.
And the good news is doing stuff on your show, talking about some of the abhorrent people that I've brought to you so far.
Yeah.
Talking about true crime stuff. I'm not breaking a rule on my show where I was not going to do true crime.
Right. But so this isn't this episode is a history episode having to do with World War II and some sadistic Nazi piece of shit. So
here's the thing, like, it's not true crime, but it's war crimes, which are different.
I like that. Not true crime, but war crime.
True crime and war crimes are totally different,
So war isn't true?
Oh, no, it's true. It's true. And this guy was unfortunately good at it. Speaking of which, let's get into our scumbag of the however long it takes for this episode to be recorded.
Yeah.
Oh boy, man, I got a bad one for you. Oscar Paul Dirlewanger. was yeah, yeah, man. Unfortunately, that's the only funny part about this story. Other than the fact that did you ever watch American Dad?
Yes.
You remember Roger, the alien on there? So if you were to like go on, I don't know, like whatever the Google AI thing is, or Chat GPT or Grok or whatever your particular flavor of AI programming is. I honestly, I've made my thoughts very clear about AI. I think the only thing it's good for is making funny pictures. Other than that, it's evil. um, but if you were to go onto your AI documentation of choice and say, "Hey, make me a picture of Roger from American Dad," it wouldn't let you do this. Make me a picture of Roger from American Dad in a Nazi costume. That's exactly what this guy looks like. He's got the big giant head and everything. Yep. Like if you took Roger and slapped a little black wig and a very particular type of mustache on him, you'd have Oscar Dirlewanger, unfortunately.
Wasn't there an American Dad episode where they did just that?
They might have.
I think they did.
Oh man. Bill, are we going to hashtag and I digress here? Because I think we're about to. Or actually, no, it's that on your show. Since this is my show, technically, this is an ADD break. It was the walrus that was helping Klaus. I Googled it, and that's the only thing that popped up with a Nazi costume for it, unfortunately.
Okay. That's what I was going to do. I was going to Google image.
All right. So, back to it here. Oscar Paul Dirlewanger was born September 26th, 1895 in Würzburg, Germany, which is a real place somehow. His father was a lawyer and his mother was a housekeeper. Obviously, it's the late 1800s. It's kind of just how things were back then.
Oh, so this is World War One.
No, this is World War II.
Oh, okay.
His childhood isn't real well documented, but from what he would go on to do, I can't imagine it was a great childhood.
Probably not.
But again, we run into the whole nature versus nurture, and then having the option of choice to be evil, and his could have obviously been choice.
Well, you could say that about any of them. I mean, Richard Ramirez didn't have to go out and do what he did.
But he got conked in the melon pretty early, and that might have scrambled some wires, though.
Yeah, he did. Plus, he was doing hard drugs at a very early age as well.
Yes.
So, but we don't know.
And then watching his cousin kill his wife or whatever.
His wife, yeah. Nice guy.
That didn't help.
Nice guy.
Yeah. So people that have normal, happy childhoods don't usually go on to be war criminals, but sometimes they do. As you'll find out in a future episode that I've done, that's just waiting to be released. What we do know is that in 1913, he enlisted in the German army at 18 years old, which means he enlisted before World War I started. So when World War I kicks off, he was assigned to the 123rd Grenadier Regiment on the Western Front as a machine gunner.
Did he have to add 2 years to his age?
I don't think so. I think so. I know where you're going, but I don't think he did. He would have technically been closer to a stormtrooper.
Oh,
and how they rise.
Gotcha.
I
am going to go see them, by the way. I haven't got my tickets yet, but I am going to go.
Anyway, so he would be part of the force that invaded Belgium and then moved on to France. In his adventures in World War I, he was awarded the Iron Cross Second Class Medal and the Iron Cross First Class Medal. The second class was the second highest award in the German army at the time, and the first class would be the equivalent of our version of the Medal of Honor. So, like I said with the Nathan Bedford Forrest episode, complete piece of shit. Unfortunately, a very good soldier.
All right.
By the end of the war, he'd been wounded 6 times, which is another guy that they did a Sabaton song about, but he was way cooler than this turd. This man was unfortunately I wish he had been the killable soldier. It would have made the story a lot faster. Would have saved a lot of people a lot of heartache. But so he'd been wounded 6 times and climbed to the rank of lieutenant in charge of the machine gun company of the 121st Regiment of the Eastern Front. His particular area was in like the southern part of Russia and Romania. When the war ended, Dirlewanger's unit was supposed to be like interned in Romania as part of the ceasefire. So that means to me that they were incredibly effective, and part of the surrender terms was to be like, we need a certain number of guys to be essentially hostages to make sure that if anything like pops off in the next couple years, you have less guys that are really good at what they do to go fight us.
Smart.
Yeah, it's a really good idea, but unfortunately, he instead took 600 men of his unit and they boogied off back to Germany. And this is where the story takes a turn for the fact. His biographer Knut Stang came to the conclusion that all the things he was about to do, including what he refers to as, quote, terror welfare, his amoral personality with his alcoholism and sexual orientation, was additionally shattered by the front experience of the First World War and its frenzied violence and barbarism. So
Terror warfare.
Terror welfare.
Welfare. Terror welfare. That's even worse.
Yeah.
Oh
I mean, welfare is like kind of rough enough in some situations, but you mix terror into it and it gets worse.
Makes the final solution sound,
oh man,
not that bad.
It's funny you mention that.
Oh boy,
because he was a big fan of that concept. Actually, after the war, yeah, he was like a Nazi's Nazi. You know, where like I did mention it in the episode that's not out yet, talking about Nazis, where not everybody that fought in the German army during World War II was a Nazi. Like,
right.
90% of them were just like dudes that just got drafted that were one day working on a farm and the next day they're like, hey, go shoot at these British kids that are here for the same reason you are.
That's why the final battle of World War II, Sabaton has a song about that too. But it's just like the Nazis, they got the news that it was over, but they're like, no, it's not. And then they were marching on this town. I can't remember what country it was, and everybody was freaking out because this regiment of the Nazis. Well, yeah, I think so, yeah, but everybody was freaking out because of the fact that this was a pretty well established and pretty menacing and pretty scary platoon of Nazis that was headed their way. So
it was the SS, like a Panzer division of the SS, who are like the actual Nazis,
right? So the German soldiers teamed up with the United States soldiers who they had just been fighting a few days earlier, and they went and fought this bunch of Nazi chuckleheads together as one unit and won.
matter of fact, the guy who would have basically been like the second in command of the like mixed forces was actually an SS member. And he was like,
yeah, he's
like gonna happen.
He's like, I know what they've been doing.
I ain't going down for this.
I'm gonna turn code on these and and do the right thing, and they did, and probably wound up with a few American friends, and probably knew somebody like a scientist or whatever who came to the United States with a box of paper clips.
Yeah, maybe. The other wild part of that story is one of the guys that was there that just like picked up a rifle and started shooting at Nazis was a French tennis player.
There you go, Wolverines.
And then they're like, hey, we need somebody to like go get help. And he's like, I can run really good because not only am I a tennis player with good cardio, I'm also French, so I'm predetermined to be able to run away from these people.
Oh God,
I can say that because I'm mostly French.
Well, my listeners will be like, "Holy crap, Bill knows something about history." It's only because I listen to Sabaton. All right, let's get back to the nasty.
Let's do it. So after the war, Oscar showed up in some police reports of the pre-Nazi government, so this would have been still like the Weimar German government, which was a complete disaster, but he's known to them. And this is where our quote from the beginning comes from. He was known as, quote, a mentally unstable, violent, and alcoholic who had the habit of erupting into violence under the influence of drugs. He joined up with a couple of different groups of Freikorps, which were like basically like a super, super right-wing, like paramilitary organization that fought against German communists in a couple of different areas of Germany, including Saxony. And they also went up against Polish nationalists in Upper Silesia, which is that's kind of a part of Germany that for hundreds of years has been fought over between the Germans and Poles, where it's like, it's ours, but it's actually ours and we'll fight you for it. Kind of like the Alsace area in France, where you could go back to like 1100 and the Germans and French were fighting over that, and they still were up until the end of World War II. You know, nothing quite like a good border dispute to start a much larger conflict. We haven't seen that happen in the last 5 years or so, have we?
Nah, no.
We haven't been paying for it, have we?
Don't know what you're talking about.
We haven't been paying for it. I mean,
no.
And they also didn't get there's not also guns in Ukraine that can be traced back to ones that we left in Afghanistan when we botched the pullout there, that the Taliban may or may not have sold Ukraine, but what do I know? I'm not allowed to talk about that. I'm just supposed to pay my taxes and pay for other people's wars, which I hate.
But that's they made an original series Star Trek episode about that.
Did they?
It's very similar, yeah.
Gotta love it. He participated in the suppression of the German Revolution of 1918 to 1919, which was like a kind of like a communist uprising. It was supposed to be. It was kind of going on at the same time as the revolution in Russia, where they had just killed the Tsar and his family, and the Bolsheviks are rolling in. And anybody that's listened to my show for more than 2 episodes knows how passionate I am about my feelings for communism. I feel like, the Nazis are evil and they get a lot of credit for being terrible, but we don't tend to look at the communists in the same light, even though they were about 10 times worse on the kill count just in Russia alone.
Well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah. And then you have Patton at the end of World War II that said, I think we might have fought the wrong guys. Because he wanted to keep the war going to go fight Russia. Because he saw the writing on the wall.
But Russia had helped put Germany down, so.
Right. But he kind of saw where it was going to go. And he's like, we should probably fight these guys too, just to be safe. And then he allegedly came into possession of the Spear of Destiny and then died in a car accident, because that's what happens when you pick that thing up, is you just die. But no big deal. That's just another weird thing that I can talk about on here at some point. So he helps to put this revolution down. He fought through cities of Backnang, Kornwestheim, Essling, Unterkenheim, which sounds like a German version of the Undertaker. Schrondorf, Heidenheim, which is near Stuttgart. He fought in the Ruhr region, and Dortmund and Essen in 1920. And in East Germany in 1920 and 1921, he did some fighting there as well. He stayed busy. He was very comfortable with violence. As spoiler alert, or as I say on here, that's what we call in the business foreshadowing, which I stole from a YouTuber, but I don't think he'll care because he's fun. During this period, Dirlewanger served as served in Fricourt Ep, Fricourt Haas, Fricourt Spruce, and Fricourt Holes. Later, he would take command of an armed formation of students, which was set up by him under the Württemberg quote-unquote highway watch.
The highway watch.
The highway watch, yeah. We're just out here checking license plates and whatnot. Not doing anything else.
Nope.
Yeah. Nothing untoward going on here.
Nope. No war stuff.
War stuff? We're not doing war stuff.
Nah.
We've never done war stuff.
Never.
Easter Sunday, 1921, Dirlewanger commanded an armored train that moved toward Sangerhausen, which had been occupied by the Communist Party of Germany militia, which was under the control of a guy named Max Holz, which is another Maximum Holes.
I don't know. Oh God, that
dude, I'm not grown up enough to do a podcast.
Did he have trypophobia?
I'm not sure what that is, but maybe
it's the disorder or whatever that makes you afraid of holes.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, if he was Maximum Holes, probably not.
I don't know. Maybe.
Or if he was Maximus Holes, where it's just a big one. You know,
yeah.
I've maximized hole. In one of their raids, so they fought this group off in one of their raids, and this actually kind of they hoped that this would inspire an uprising within the communists to be like, these guys are kind of dumb. Let's join the other maybe less evil side. Probably not. An attack by Dirlewanger failed, and the enemy militiamen succeeded in cutting off his force. After the latter was reinforced by pro-government troops during the night, the communists withdrew from town. During this operation, Dirlewanger was grazed in the head by a gunshot.
Damn.
That close. That close to ending the episode. After the National Socialist Party gained power in Germany, Dirlewanger was celebrated as the town's quote-unquote liberator from the Red Terrorists.
If I only had a time machine.
Dude, if I had a time machine, there's a lot of stuff I'd do, and it would involve dropping guns off with the Romans. Phalanx my dick, here's an M60. Actually, I think my first stop would be like, I've landed in Constantinople. Here's an M60. We gonna keep this thing this time. So he received its honorary citizenship from this town in 1935 for his works. Oh boy. Here's one you didn't see coming. Dirlewanger also earned a nickname. The people there called him Gandhi.
What?
It's because he was kind of like tall and skinny. It has nothing to do with the fact that he was
Gandhi was tall?
You know, he was kind of tall, I guess.
Oh, I never knew that. I was picturing him as a little short guy.
Yeah, super racist too. People don't realize that, but Gandhi was not necessarily a good person. He was kind of a turd.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff about African immigrants in India that he was I think the politically correct way to put it was not a fan of them. And had some language about it. So, yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of the time the history that we're taught is like very sugar-coated and whitewashed. You don't learn about, yeah. A lot of interesting shit if you start looking into it.
I was not aware of any of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a lot of people are like, oh, Mother Teresa was no saint either. It's like, not really, but I mean, most people aren't. Like, I don't think anybody is fully evil. I think that there's a little bit of good in everybody, but a lot of the time it can be outweighed one way or the other.
Like, there's good and bad in everyone. We learn to learn to live together. What we need to survive together alive. Yeah. Ebony and ivory.
Well
Live
done.
together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we?
Also, if you listen to my show but not Bill's, Bill's a musician. I was going to use the, there's two wolves inside of you and one of them is a dickhead, but, you know. So between his military forays, he studied at Goethe University in Frankfurt and in 1922 obtained a doctorate in political sciences, which is a bad idea. We should not have let this man become further educated. The following year, he joins the Nazi Party proper. He's a member of the SA, which were the brown shirts. So they would be like those were kind of like the police side of the SS, where the SS would have been military. This was like the police version of that. So think of a SWAT team specifically about racism.
Lovely.
And then later on, sorry to bury the lead there. Later on, he did also join the SS, as you'll see from his snazzy uniform, which I'll throw a picture of up here. From 1928 to 1931, he was the executive director of a textile factory owned by a Jewish family in Erfurt, where he renounced active service in the Sturm Battalion, but financially donated still to the SA, possibly obtaining money by, who's to say, maybe embezzling from this company that's owned by people that he's already not a huge fan of. Dirlewanger held various jobs, which included working at a bank. He also worked at a knitwear factory, which is kind of crafty and very something somebody up in my neck of the woods would be like. I work in a hand-spun flannel factory. That's cool. So you don't make any money. Neat. He was also repeatedly convicted for illegal arms possession and embezzlement. So he's got a thing. He likes taking money and, spending it how he feels it should be spent instead of how it's supposed to be spent. And what's that?
But then again, don't we all like to spend money other than how it's supposed to be spent?
Yeah, but I mean, I like to earn it. I don't want to take it from somebody else.
No, this is true. Yeah. You and I wouldn't make good politicians.
No, because well, first of all, I've been on the internet and I've used words on the internet, so I can't even run because somebody could take anything from either of my shows or anything I've said on your show and be like, "Ha, gotcha." I'm like, well, good thing I've got the full recording and you can actually hear what I said instead of you
that don't
taking
matter.
it out of context. Also, I have no interest in selling my soul.
No.
So, because unfortunately, I think to do anything in politics, you kind of have to do that.
Yeah, probably.
Because it doesn't matter what color tie you wear, you're probably evil. Another fun story. In 1934, he was convicted and sentenced for 2 years imprisonment for the statutory rape of a 14-year-old girl who was part of the League of German Girls, which that's going to come up again in a future episode. Spoiler alert, unfortunately. As well as the illegal use of a government vehicle and damaging said vehicle while under the influence of alcohol.
Oh.
Which I feel like pretty much anything done in Germany, you could just tack under the influence of alcohol onto, and they'd be like, yeah, that tracks. I mean, they like their beer.
Right.
German beer's not my favorite. It's too heavy. I'm not a big fan of it. Dirlewanger also lost his job. He lost his doctor title and all of his military honors when they put him in prison. And when he was put in prison, he was kicked out of the Nazi Party.
Oh, boo-hoo.
So that's what it takes to be kicked out of the Nazi Party, is to be a rapist.
Right.
Soon after he was released from the prison in Ludwigsburg, Dirlewanger was arrested again on very similar charges. And at this point in time, they tagged him also with criminal recidivism, which means that you're being arrested for breaking the law that you already broke once because you're going to break the law again because that's what you're going to do.
Well, I mean, that's probably not a bad law to have if you actually enforce it.
Yes. Yes. Um, here he was actually, this part's wild. He was sent to the Welsheim concentration camp. Either is what one of these biographers feels was like the standard practice for like deviant sexual offenders in Germany at the time, or for creating some kind of a disturbance while he was in prison that kind of made it so he had to go there instead. And before he went there, he actually had to go stand in front of the Reich Chancellery, meaning that he would have had to go in front of a series of judges and Hitler, who, because he's the chancellor, would have also been involved with this because he was in the military. So he's basically going in front of like a military tribunal and also Hitler at the same time, which would be a little weird, I think. You know?
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot?
No, it popped up on my thing. I've got it saved. I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's great.
What was the other one that I have to? I did that with was Jojo Rabbit, which is the movie. It's like a little kid that becomes friends with Hitler. It is supposed to be funny as hell, but I haven't actually seen it yet. I really wish World War II had ended more like Inglourious Bastards, though.
Sam.
You know,
or the man who killed Hitler and then Bigfoot.
That's the right order to do it in too, because like I feel like Bigfoot probably wouldn't be like, we got to get rid of these people. You know what I mean?
Well, and with a title like that, you've got to check it out to see what the hell it's all about.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I got it, but it is what you expect it to be, but it's great.
It's kind of like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, where you're like, man, the title's good, the movie is not.
Something like that, yeah.
Like, oh man, this had so much potential to be cool.
It's entertaining. It's entertaining, but obviously, you know, the man who killed.
I like a dumb fun movie every once in a while, you know.
It's a dumb fun movie, yeah.
So after this little sentence, Dirlewanger was released and reinstated to the General Reserve of the SS, following personal intervention of his wartime companion and local Nazi Party commander Gottlieb Berger, who was also a longtime personal friend of the SS chief Heinrich Himmler, who's also a bad person. Spoiler alert.
You think? Just a little bit.
Generally, if you have that particular kind of mustache, like where I've got like the anti version of it, you're probably not one of the good guys. And I don't have the anti version of it by choice. I got just enough Mediterranean in my blood to make sure that my mustache doesn't connect, unfortunately.
Well, I can't grow a full beard, so don't feel bad.
Man, if I could get my mustache to connect, I'd be golden. I'd be happy, but you know, these are the cards we're dealt.
Yep.
And so he had become the head of the SS head office. That was Himmler, because he actually created the SS. Dirlewanger managed to get himself out of trouble by volunteering to fight in the Spanish Civil War, which the Spanish Civil War was basically a proxy war between the quote-unquote fascist government and the communist sympathizers in Spain. And there was actually a lot of Germans that went and fought in favor of the fascist government, which not really surprising. And I actually covered a guy way earlier in the show that went over as an American volunteer to fight. I don't remember what side he fought on. Doesn't really matter, but he watched basically his entire like platoon that he went in with get just mowed down with machine guns, and then came back and kicked a bunch of German ass in World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like he had to go fight for a different country because he couldn't fight for us because he was black, you know?
Oh.
Yeah. Kind of screwed up, right?
A little bit.
And then he came back and then went and fought in Germany and became a legitimate war hero and got the Medal of Honor way after he died, which is disgusting because he should have been given it right then and there. But because, again, he was black, he wasn't qualified for it. And if you're listening in on my end, that was Edward Carter, which was like the first 10 episodes I did. And if you want to read his story or any other stories from a bunch of African-American guys that fought in World War II that should have been given the Medal of Honor, but again, because of the color of their skin, we're told they didn't qualify for it. But then later on, that decision was reversed. There's a book called Immortal Valor, which, even if you're a history fan, it has nothing to do with your race or your ethnicity whatsoever. If you're just a history fan and you want to read about some guys doing incredible things, absolutely pick it up. It's a really, really good book. I believe there's like 7 or 10 guys that are covered in there that were all denied the Medal of Honor, but eventually were awarded it after decades of their records being hid, not even hid, but just left somewhere. And then somebody, like a group of people going through and looking at all of these and going, these guys actually, by today's standards or even by that generation's standards, would have qualified for the medal, but were denied it because they were black, which is awful. It's disgusting that it was like that, but unfortunately, that's just, you can't change history. But sometimes you can help to fix mistakes that were made in history by correcting things in the future. So yeah, that book's called Immortal Valor. Again, very good book, very good read. Anyway, so the fighting that he was involved in lasted from July of 1936 to April of 1939. That was the entirety of the Civil War. And just like any other civil war, the casualties are astronomical, with an estimated 500,000 people killed outright.
Damn.
That doesn't even count like other forms of casualties like wounded or sick or anything like that. That's just 500,000 outright dead in the Spanish Civil War.
For comparison, for comparative purposes, the number of dead in the U.S. Civil War, the total number was, I believe, around 70,000.
Oh, no, I think it was higher than that. It had to have been higher than that.
Or maybe it was just on the South. Because I remember looking at the, hearing the exact number and thinking that sounded a little low.
Oof. Oh, yeah. So, outright dead, the estimate is around, it's from between 620,000 to 750,000. 750,000 Americans died in the Civil War.
Okay, we'll just cut that part out completely because it'll make me sound like a total dumbass.
Well, no, we're just kind of winging it at that point. I guess
there may have been, I don't know what. Maybe I was thinking like 60 or 70,000 U.S. soldiers in the Revolutionary War. Maybe, I don't know.
That sounds more right.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. But still,
that sounds more right.
But still, that does sound. That sounds a little low. But
yeah.
But still, okay, that's what I was thinking.
I think with the Revolutionary Wars, you can be like, well, how many Americans died? Okay, how many British died? And then you don't have to count some of the Americans that died. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can be like, oh, they were sympathizers, so they were British, so they don't count.
True. Or
if you just went like, how many people with British accents died during the American Civil War? All of them.
Yeah.
So obviously, like we said, Dirlewanger fought on the side opposed to the communists, which is what he's going to do. And while in the Spanish Civil War, he's wounded an additional 3 times. That brings our tally up to, I believe, 9. 9 or 10. Unfortunately, none of them were fatal.
Yeah.
In return for his bravery and courage in battle, he was welcomed back into the Waffen-SS and given the rank of Obersturmführer, which is a senior storm leader.
God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. That's not the last time I have to say something like that either. Um, so they never expunged his criminal record. They're just like, nah, that's all right. Um, he was put in charge of his own unit that became known as Sonderkommando Dirlewanger, which was made up of yeah, yeah. That sounds that sounds like a Rammstein song.
It does.
Uh, which, by the way, the alternative for your episode that I was going to bring is also the basis for a Rammstein song.
Oh, what was that name that you just said?
The German I was going to bring was
No. The
Sonderkommando Dirlewanger.
yeah, that sounds like a German porn title.
Sausage Commander Dirlewanger.
Sausage Commander Dirlewanger.
And we can guess which direction that one's going to go. Oh boy.
He's trying to kill me, people.
oh my god. So this unit is made up of a bunch of really cool guys. It's got a handful of regular soldiers in it, but it's also got a healthy mix of poachers and other assorted criminals that have been let out of prison directly under his command, because that seems like a really good idea to put the psychopath.
This would be a good time to drop a clip from Blazing Saddles in there. Okay, what's your qualifications? Theft, rape, murder, and rape. You said rape twice. I like rape. And here's your badges. Badges? We don't need no stinking badges.
Somebody go back and get a shitload of dimes. Talk about a movie that could never be remade.
I've said this on CKCB several times. I want to take that movie and host a screening of it at a college.
Yeah. Oh, it's got to be like a
major college, what
Florida State,
or the University of Florida. So those would be good.
The thing is like you live in a more red state than I do, so you have a good mix.
But Tallahassee and Gainesville are blue cities, so that would be the perfect place to do it.
What we need to do is we need to pool the money together between the two of us, and you need to come up here, and we can show it at Middlebury College and make people's heads explode. Because I can tell you, like, you drive through the campus of Middlebury College or the campus of UVM, you will find every shade of hair except for natural. It's insane. It's very like, and that's the thing is like Vermont gets in my opinion, a bad rap for being incredibly liberal when we're really not. It's just like two cities are super blue and the rest of us are just rednecks with guns. And like, oh, it's just a bunch of happy hippies and they ski. It's like, no, dude, we shoot stuff all the time and we really are just not who you think we are. We're not what you get in the commercials. Let's put it that way. So let's see. After a few months, the regulars were the regular troops that were assigned to him were recruited away and replaced with even more convicted criminals from German prisons, both civilian and military prisons.
Did they take their badges?
I don't think they had any stinking badges.
They didn't have any stinking badges.
And also, just to really reinforce everything, they also took patients that were interned at mental asylums for the criminally insane and gave them to this guy too. So,
okay.
I mean, we about to be war criming big time. The unit was assigned to security duties first in German-occupied Poland, where Dirlewanger served as the SSTV commandant of a labor camp at Stary Drisko. And if you're not familiar with what labor camps were in World War II,
so it's not okay. I thought you said disco, Stary Disco.
No.
Okay,
no, no, it would have been.
I'm sorry, you said there's nothing funny here, so I'm making it. Damn it!
Would have been a lot more fun if it was a disco. I bet. Labor camps were generally also referred to as like extermination camps, where they were going to send you there and you were going to work until you died. But there's also this neat little thing that I've learned about a lot recently where a lot of German companies didn't have to pay for labor when they were making cars or anything else. Like,
You
just a couple of
mean
companies.
you mean Vergnügen?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, just couple of small companies you've probably never heard of, like BMW, Mercedes, Audi, companies
Volkswagen.
like that. Oh, yeah. Companies like that kind of thrived on free labor. Um, the other one I like to bring up is if you next time you're in an elevator, if you look up and it says ThyssenKrupp on there, they weren't making elevators during World War II. They were making chemical weapons and
Yay,
other
chemical
assorted things.
weapons.
And then they rebranded and went like elevators seem like a really safe option. Um, or the other big one was Siemens that they make like everything and they sponsor like soccer teams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They also benefited quite a bit from unpaid labor. Um, Matter of fact, some of these factories actually had mass graves they found after they relocated because
Lovely.
yeah, worked to death. You can't convince me that they were the good guys. I'll tell you that for free. Um,
Nope.
so the camp that he's in charge of was the subject of an abuse investigation by the SS by an SS judge named George Conrad Morgan, who accused Dirlewanger of quote wanton acts of murder, corruption, and Reusenschad, which is race defilement.
And he was found guilty and executed with a bullet in the back of the head. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week.
You're this close.
Damn it.
So Morgan consequently got himself reduced in rank and sent to the Eastern Front to fight. And according to Morgan, Dirlewanger, quote, Dirlewanger was a nuisance and a terror to the entire population. He repeatedly pillaged the ghetto in Lublin and also extorted ransoms.
Have fun.
Atrocities committed by Dirlewanger include, but are not limited to, injecting strychnine into young Jewish female prisoners who were previously undressed and whipped to watch them convulse to death in front of him and his friends for entertainment. We really should have come up with TV a lot sooner. Like,
they had TV back then, didn't they?
No, I think everything was still in movie theaters. I don't think you had like TV in your house yet.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But, I mean, now German TV seems really cool. They got like forklift competitions and stuff on their late night channels, which looks like a lot of fun to watch. They just do a bunch of goofy game shows, which is great. But it still doesn't, absolve them of their crimes. Or looking at you too, Japan, just because you had a most extreme elimination challenge doesn't mean that you're innocent now. One of these days, I'm coming for Japan, and I'm coming for him hard in an episode.
Watch out, people! History Goon's coming for you if you've been naughty in your past.
Yeah, like I said, one of these days, I'm coming hard for Japan. I'm going to cover their stuff and then how it never was prosecuted.
I think there's a ninja behind you.
I hope so. I hope so. Better than the alternative with some of the things I've covered on here.
And not true. It'd be quick.
Yeah. More than once I've been like, well, I should probably not talk any further just in case the CIA or Mossad is listening because I don't want either one of them to show up at my house. But
by the way, he lives in Vermont. I live in Florida.
They've got enough people. They can handle it. According to Raoul Hilberg, which is a very strange German name, this camp was considered quote one of the first instances Jesus, why can't I can say the word by itself. One of the first instances.
There you go.
Yep, the dental work is catching up with me now. that reference was made to, quote, the soap-making rumor. According to this rumor, Dirlewanger, quote, cut up Jewish women and boiled them with horse meat to make soap.
So, bitch.
Yeah. He went all Tyler Durden, and, you know, if you haven't seen Fight Club, like, spoiler alert, it's a really good movie. Anyway, Dirlewanger's primary patron in the SS hierarchy was Gottlieb Berger, who we mentioned before, who provided Himmler with a massive political boost by numerically increasing the Waffen SS through his position as chief of the SS Hauptmacht. I got this from a little excerpt from a book called Foreign Holocaust, The Poles Under German Occupation by Richard C. Lucas. He described Dirlewanger as, quote, a sadist whose brutality was well known. One of those degenerates who in saner days would have been court-martialed out of the German army. Unfortunately, we're not in sane days, my friend.
No.
According to Peter Longreich, Dirlewanger's leadership was, quote, characterized by continued alcohol abuse, looting, sadistic atrocities, rape, and murder, and his mentor Berger tolerated this behavior, as did Himmler, who so urgently needed men such as the Sonderkommando Dirlewanger in his fight against, quote, and this is not my word, quote, subhumanity. So, find somewhere comfortable for that to sit in the corner of your mind while we're going to continue about this. Man, Bill, I've just been a bummer the last couple times I've talked to you, haven't I?
Yeah, my listeners are like, when is he ever going to host his own show again?
And like,
soon, hopefully.
The alternative was also a German, but he was a wiener eater. So that would have been somehow less disturbing than this.
I know that story too. That's
oh god. You know when he cut it in half, he did it lengthwise, right?
Oh.
That was one of those unfortunate details that I found that I didn't hear in a lot of other shows or anywhere else, but I was like, oh yeah, oh no, he went the long way.
Mommy.
Good Christ, that guy was still alive when he cut it off.
Oh, God.
And then the son of a bitch let this man bleed out in his bathtub while he was reading a Star Trek book.
Oh, gosh.
Ugh. Good times. And back to this uplifting story. In his letter to Himmler, SS Brigadier Führer Odilo Globernick, it's either Globernick or Globsinick.
I like Globernick better. I like Globernick better.
Yeah, it's got more vowels somehow. He recommended Dirlewanger, who, quote, is in charge of a Jewish camp in Zwickau, was an excellent leader. He's a very good guy, upstanding fella. During the Nuremberg trials after the war, spoiler alert, Berger said, quote, now, and I cannot believe that he referred to this man in this manner, but unfortunately, he technically could. Quote, now, Dr. Dirlewanger was hardly a good boy. You can't say that, but he was a good soldier, and he had one big mistake that he didn't know when to stop drinking.
Okay.
So he got to call this man doctor and actually mean it because he was, in fact, a doctor.
I guarantee you something similar would have been said about Ted Kennedy had that ever gone to a real court.
Was he a doctor too?
No, he was a politician, but he killed somebody and he was a known drunk.
Yeah, the not knowing when to stop drinking part.
Yeah.
Very mixed bag for me on the Kennedys. Like, JFK was probably the last like real president that we had that wasn't being at least partially controlled by special interest groups and foreign governments. And he got his head exploded for that.
Right.
Ted Kennedy is a scumbag, and he's dead, thankfully. RFK probably a good dude. Also got his head exploded for it. RFK Jr. I kind of like, and I'm sure people will be like "Rrr" about that, but like getting pharmaceutical commercials off TV is going to be really cool when that happens, and then like taking all the nasty shit out of our food is going to be neat.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely. Maybe in 20, 30, 40 years, you might see cancers drop.
I think you will. I can't remember. It was one of the cereals, some cereal that I saw a guy on Facebook's like they're already doing it. He's like flips the thing around and it's like the red 40's gone, the yellow 5's gone, and it's been replaced with like uh, vegetable dyes. So like the red you're getting from like beet juice, the yellow you're getting from other stuff. Like that's fine. Yeah, you're still processing it to death, but at least it's I know there's a lot of that like red 40 tied to ADHD thing, and that's probably true because it screws your brain chemistry to death. But let's not get into politics. Let's go back into talking about politics about yeah. Because I'm sure that we have political views that people will go, oh, and stop listening for.
I'll mark that too.
Yeah. All I'm saying is we got to go to Washington, D.C. and start building gallows and a guillotine.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them on both sides that need that.
Indeed.
Something, the tree of liberty being fed by the blood of tyrants. Thomas Jefferson or whoever, In January 1942, however, the local higher SS and police leader, SS Obergruppenführer Friedrich Wilhelm Kruger, which that is the most Nazi name that I couldn't have made up a Nazi name for an Indiana Jones movie better than that. He threatened, quote, "Unless this bunch of criminals disappears from the general government within a week, I will go myself and lock them up." In February, the unruly unit was promptly reassigned for anti-partisan duties in German-occupied Belarus. So partisans are essentially freedom fighters. I know you probably know that, but some people might be like, "What the hell is this?"
Right.
My favorite ones are the French, though, because it was like teenage girls on bicycles with machine pistols, just like smoking Nazis on the side of the road. The Dutch and the French were pretty badass. I've actually got a couple of French girls on my list for the show, not for like,
Yeah, right.
Anyway. So they were sent to German-occupied Belarus with, quote, a speciality for pacifying an area by slaughtering every man, woman, and child.
Well, if everybody's dead, there's going to be peace.
Yeah, exactly. Have you had a chance to watch Peacemaker yet?
Mm-mm.
There's nothing I cherish and value more than peace, and I don't care how many men, women, and children I have to kill to get it.
That actually sounds like a real quote that you would start your show off with.
And it's John Cena. It's so good. Like,
oh, is that where he's wearing that ridiculous freaking costume?
Yeah, the helmets. Yeah.
Oh God, that's why I haven't seen that movie, because I was just like, I'm not watching that.
Oh no. So watch Suicide Squad and then watch the show. It's so good because he gets into like these super like passionate, like fiery arguments with people in the show over the stupidest blood feud arguments over a song.
Well, it depends.
That's not even their best song on the album, you piece of shit. What's wrong with you? In a book called Bloodlands, Europe Between Hitler and Stalin, Timothy Snyder wrote, quote, "Dirlewanger's preferred method was to herd the local populations inside of a barn, set the barn on fire, and then shoot with machine guns anyone who tried to escape."
Okay.
Yeah. rounded up civilians were repeatedly used as human shields and marched directly into minefields to clear them.
Okay.
Another clip from a book with a fantastic title, Masters of Death. Richard Rhodes wrote that Dirlewanger and his forces, quote, raped and tortured young women and slaughtered Jews, Einstagruppen style, which I'm assuming means like gang raping women, in Belarusia beginning in 1942. So like it's kind of like that last episode we did where we had fun and then we hit that like we've hit the Rubicon and now we have to cross it to the other side, which you see here, just for reference. Yeah. Man, if they ever listen to this, they'll be like, those guys, they can't buy our music anymore. They made some really cool references, and then they talked about the final solution, which is a heartbreaking song. And then they talked about crossing the Rubicon with Nazis. Oh, God. Snyder cautiously estimated that the Sonderkommando Dirlewanger, at its regiment size, killed a bare minimum, a very conservative estimate of 30,000 Belarusian civilians.
Oh,
That's just in Belarus. Some other estimates are much higher, such as 120,000 people killed across 20 different villages.
It's probably somewhere in between.
Yeah, and like, I'm going to say it again in the episode that's not out yet, where I also talked about Nazis. The Nazis that everybody knows about, yes, were evil. Yes, did terrible things. But it's the ones that were real hardcore that you've never heard of are way worse than the higher-ups.
So why do you think that this guy isn't as well known as Himmler or Hitler or...
I think it's because of how brutal he was with stuff, that it's more like one of those, like, we need to forget that this human existed.
Well, I mean, they don't teach you the real atrocities of what the Hussein family did. You know, Saddam and his sons. I mean, they did some pretty nasty freaking stuff where, you know, what they got was too good for him.
Yeah. Uday, who was the older of the two, was actually the worst of the three of them. But I didn't know this until recently. I was listening to a thing on YouTube.
Well, Uday was a genuine psychopath, whereas the other two were just, you know, evil pieces. I mean, Uday literally had a screw loose.
He was so bad that I can't remember. I think it was the wedding incident where he just wandered into some wedding and like kidnapped the bride and assaulted her, and then she killed herself because, you know, and then her husband killed himself because, again, you know, I think it was that incident that Saddam actually had him arrested for and put him in prison for the death penalty. And then was like, I can't have my son killed, and
just everybody else's daughters. Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah. So yeah, that Hellfire missile that we launched into there was way too quick for him.
Yep.
He should have been mechanically disassembled. Like a chicken. He should have been processed.
And he would have been saying, "No, disassemble."
Yeah, no, more disassemble.
No, that's what he would have been saying.
No, that's what I get that, but what I'm saying is more disassemble.
More disassemble.
Yes. All of the disassemble. The whole thing. Start with the nuts and then disassemble the rest from there.
Yeah.
I had a saying. He's one of those people that should have been eaten dick first by a polar bear. Because they don't kill you first, they just eat you alive. Anyway, speaking of eating people alive, Himmler was well aware of Dirlewanger's reputation and record, but nonetheless awarded him the German Cross, which was inlaid with gold, which is one of their little alternates for it. He gave that to him on December 5th, 1943. In recognition of the unit's actions, such as during Operation Cottbus, which was from Cottbus, Cottbus. I realized I said that a little fast, and it sounded like
Sounds like something else, yeah.
sounded like another one of them German videos we were talking about. um, that operation lasted between May and June of 1943, during which Dirlewanger reported exterminating more than 14,000 what he referred to as quote-unquote bandits.
Bandits.
In mid-1944, during the German rout from Belarus, Dirlewanger's unit suffered heavy losses because they were doing a lot of like rearguard fighting, so they were like the last ones to leave. And because they are kind of like an irregular unit where they're not technically military, they're just kind of like it's basically like the Joker's army, where it's just a bunch of criminals and psychos.
That tracks.
But thankfully, they were also fighting criminals and psychos when they came up against the Soviet regulars, who beat the dog out of them. It was a pretty hasty retreat, and then they reformed into, quote, a storm brigade, so they have been downsized because they've lost so many guys. And
I don't know why I find that funny. Just
then they were sent to another Sabaton song for the suppression of the Warsaw Uprising. Warsaw. I love that song.
I know the song, but I can't think of the title of it.
So good. Uprising.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep, I love that song. Historian Martin Windrow wrote in the summer of 1944, Dirlewanger led, quote, his butchers, rapists, and looters into action against the Warsaw Uprising and quickly committed ... unspeakable crimes. No, that's kind of his thing.
Well, that's why we don't hear about anything, because it's all unspeakable, and everybody says, okay, it's unspeakable. Okay, we're not going to read any further.
This guy's existence past infancy is an unspeakable crime, in my opinion.
Right.
In Warsaw, Dirlewanger participated in the Chwola massacre, together with police units rounding up and shooting somewhere in the neighborhood of 40,000 civilians, which included men, women, children, and the elderly. And they did most of that work in about 48 hours.
Jeez.
So they killed almost 1,000 people an hour for 2 days. Which that's commitment, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
In the same Chwola district, Dirlewanger burned 3 hospitals with patients inside, while the nurses were, quote, whipped, gang raped, and finally hanged naked together with the doctors.
I hope losing all those medical professionals comes back and bites them in the ass later on.
Oh, and the best part of this is he had accompanying music. The traditional song in Munchenstein and Hofbrauhaus. My German's a little rusty because I don't speak it. Which I may have to try to find that song to stick in here somewhere, just to, really drive home the production value of my show.
I'll find it.
Oh, God.
I think it does need to. I think it needs to be in there just because. Okay, this was playing on freaking loudspeakers when this atrocity was happening.
Yep.
Okay.
Man, I mean, yeah, like I jokingly sent you a German song from World War II earlier, like, oh, let's just get in the mood. And honestly, that's really not even that bad of a song. It's a song about a girl, which is no different than any of the songs that, guys on our side would have been singing. But I don't know exactly what this one was. I do know that, knowing what I know now, I will never probably be able to hear it and enjoy it, unfortunately.
Yes.
And to finish that quote, later they drank, raped, and murdered their way through the old town, slaughtering civilians and fighters alike without distinction of age or sex. So basically, we can just consider them all enemy combatants, and we can treat them all the same way. In the old town were about 30,000 civilians that were killed. Several Several thousand were wounded in field hospitals that were overrun by Germans, and they were then shot and set on fire with flamethrowers.
Yay, flamethrowers.
Reportedly, quote, the Dirlewanger Brigade burned prisoners alive with gasoline, impaled babies on bayonets, and stuck them out the windows, and hung women upside down from balconies.
It's 11:11 right now.
Make a wish. I wish this was over.
Yeah.
Here's another incredibly German name. SS Obergruppenführer Erich von dem Bach Zelwinski, overall commander of the forces that were there to pacify Warsaw, and Dirlewanger's former boss in Belarus described Dirlewanger as having, quote, a typical mercenary nature. Von den Bach's staff officer sent to summon Dirlewanger before him was driven off at gunpoint. So he's like, I need you to go bring Oscar to me. He got there and then like immediately came back and be like, yeah, that's going to be a no for me. He pulled a gun on me. So go get him yourself. The unit won a quote unquote dubious distinction of having suffered extremely severe casualties in Warsaw. His unit suffered a 315% casualty rate.
How do we accomplish this?
So he lost everybody.
When they sent more.
Replaced him. They lost all of those replacements. Sent more replacements, and then he lost all of those.
And then 15% of the next.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say that guy doesn't deserve to be in command.
Yeah, and all of that happened in 2 months of fighting. So he got like
Kuckelschnack.
I don't know what that means, but yeah, I agree.
I don't either. I just made it up.
In recognition of his work to crush the uprising and to intimidate the population of the city, Dirlewanger received his final promotion to the rank of SS Oberführer on August 15th, 1944.
Oberführer?
Oberführer, which would be like overseer, if I remember correctly. In October, he was awarded the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross, recommended for it by a superior officer in Warsaw, which was SS Gruppenführer Heinz Reinfarth. After the war, Reinfarth lied about his role in the butchery in Warsaw, and he even denied that Dirlewanger was under his command because the kind of reputation this guy has can drag you down a lot too.
Well, yeah.
You imagine having somebody under your command that's this screwed up that you're like, I have to pretend I've never met him.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of that going on, like we were talking before the final battle, and the SS people, they were just like, yeah, all right, these guys, yeah, it's like that Nazi in Saving Private Ryan when the guy comes up on him and everything, he's pretending to be hurt, or he is hurt, and he's just like, Hitler. And then later on when he sees him again, he's like, he's still in the, he's still wearing the Nazi uniform and everything. Yeah, I mean, you do what you got to do to survive, and in this case, he's got to, if it means, what's this asshole's name?
Dirlewanger.
Never heard of her.
I'm aware it ain't practical. I mean, at some point, you gotta have to take it off. So, I'm gonna give you a little something you can't take off.
That's one of my favorite lines of that whole movie.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
You take that deal? I'll take that deal. Damn good deal. I should probably stop smiling. Dirlewanger then led his men in joining the efforts to put down the Slovak national uprising in October of 1944, eventually being posted on the front lines of Hungary and Eastern Germany to fight against the advancing Red Army. In February 1945, the unit was expanded again and redesignated as an SS Grenadier Division. So the thing with this guy is he's not necessarily actually fighting like a military fight. He is essentially a government-sanctioned guerrilla force. And he's just being given free run to do whatever he wants.
There's a reason why the guerrilla squadrons and stuff like that where it really came to fruition, which would have been the Revolutionary War. There's a reason why those were kind of more along the lines of like Black Ops, like off the record type things.
Yep. That flag right there on my wall. They were technically a paramilitary organization. It's a Stark flag. They were the Green Mountain Boys.
Oh, okay.
So they did a lot of guerrilla stuff. They weren't fighting in box formations. Like
no.
these are the guys that went across Lake Champlain in canoes and nailed a bunch of powdered wigs to the walls in Fort Ticonderoga. Mostly Seth Brown and Ira Allen, because Ethan was hammered, like sleeping off a hangover in the boat. But again, we'll just name furniture stores after him and everything else in the state of Vermont and give the other two guys zero credit for what they did.
Well, furniture. Okay, I'm going to make you feel better about this. What does every piece of furniture that you sit on have happen to it?
Oh, you fart on it.
Damn right.
I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Ethan Allen. He was,
I know.
By all accounts, a pretty decent fighter. But in that particular instance where he gets all the credit for it, he was shithoused, just sleeping in the boat.
Right.
And thankfully, my ancestor, whose name is on Fort Ticonderoga, had the common decency to go back to England and die before the Revolutionary War started. He was there to take it away from the French, and then he's like, my work here is done. I'm going to go back to wherever and die with my awful teeth. So the same month, Oscar Dirlewanger was shot in the chest while fighting against the invading Soviet forces near Gubin.
Once again, another inch. Just 1 inch. An inch.
Might not have even been inches. It could have been
a millimeter.
It could have been a frog's hair. A chicken's tooth. Just dead. So because of this injury, he's sent back to the rear. This was his 12th and final injury in combat. Total. Between World War I, the Spanish Civil War, and then World War II. He's been wounded 12 times in combat.
Okay, don't answer this. I'm just asking a question just for continuity's sake. So I'm assuming he gets executed? But anyway, we'll find out.
Kinda. On April 22nd.
I like the way you said that.
Yeah, because we're coming back into the good parts where he's about to get his comeuppance.
Good.
That's my favorite part about Nazi stories, is when they get exactly what they deserve.
Good.
Yeah, I'm glad they're dead, and I hope they burn in hell. On April 22nd, he goes into hiding. He was arrested on June 1st, 1945.
Wait a minute. Hold on. We went somewhere. He was just in a battle where he got shot and everything. So what happened? What caused him to have to go into hiding? Because obviously at this point, where he gets shot again, he's still in as high of a standing as somebody like that could be with the upper brass of the Nazi party, Himmler or Hitler or whatever.
So I'm guessing that just due to where he was located, I think he went into hiding from the Soviets.
Oh, okay. Damn it! I was hoping the Nazis were after him.
Oh no, we're not that lucky. Because the war ended in September of 1945, so we're coming right down to the wire. Where the Soviets are coming in from the east, and we've been fighting across the continent without the benefit of winter to fight two giant sieges for us, like Russia did. Cowards. Right. Using the weather. We just threw money at it. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Weather. Huh. We've got infinite dollars. Boom. Let's fight a war.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
On June 1st, 1945, he is arrested near the town of Altshausen in Upper Swabia by the French occupation zone authorities.
All right, we'll give some applause to the French.
Yep. So everybody gives the French for World War II. Their government sucked.
But the people were badasses.
The
yes,
French
I know
people
this.
in World War II were like top notch. Like their partisans and like freedom fighters were like restaurant quality.
When we were trying to figure out which episode to do, I'm like, okay, what about a war criminal? And I told you that Todd and I had already, Todd, for you History Gun listeners, is my original co-host, rest in peace. But we had already covered Marcel Petiot. But in that story, the French were badasses.
Yeah.
And that story, and I remember saying something to that effect when we did the episode. I'm like, yeah, we already covered Petiot.
Yeah.
But because I know you had covered him as well, so that would have probably been one of the first ones that you suggested, unless I said, yeah, we've already covered him.
so he wasn't one of the ones I got in the separation. Put it that way. That was my co-host's episode, and anything that I've used for your show has been stuff that I've written. I've not taken any of his stuff because that's not mine to take.
Okay.
But yeah, we covered him. He was a weird dude. Like isn't he the dude that like stole a drum like randomly? He would just like steal like doorknobs and like before he became a doctor.
I don't remember. Yeah.
He was like locked up for like kleptomania because he was like stealing doorknobs.
Always stealing. Yeah.
And then somehow became a doctor. Not a good one.
Not a good one.
Not a good one. So when he was arrested, he was actually wearing civilian clothes and hiding under a false name in a remote hunting lodge. And the people that recognized him and reported him were folks that had escaped from a concentration camp.
I would say they have a pretty good idea what this dude looked like.
Yep. I would imagine if you're in that situation, yeah, I mean, people's faces are easy to forget. When you meet Satan,
right,
you probably remember his face.
Well, I met a serial killer and didn't put it together until 20 some odd years later. And I remembered exactly what the looked like. Episode 37.
So he was brought to a detention center. And then somewhere between June 5th and June 7th of 1945, tragedy strikes when he dies. As a result...
Wait, you said tragedy?
Yeah.
Okay.
You couldn't taste the sarcasm there? He died as a result of, and this is my favorite quote unquote that I get to use here, quote unquote, ill treatment.
And he was probably bitching about it the entire time. Why aren't you treating me better? That was for my old school listeners. You're welcome. I was waiting for a moment to say that, and there it is.
So here's the thing, though. He's arrested June 1st, right? And he dies somewhere between the 5th and 7th of the same month.
Say that again?
He's arrested June 1st. And somewhere between June 5th and June 7th, he dies. So he didn't, like, develop an illness and die.
Oh.
There was some actual ill treatment.
That kind of ill treatment, not negligence. There's a little bit of shenanigans going on.
Yeah. His exact cause of death is unknown. But that obviously would lead to some speculation. His death certificate issued by French authorities stated that
we don't know how that train spike got up his ass.
I don't know how he nailed himself to a wall. It's clearly a suicide. I mean,
definitely.
He broke all of his own ribs and then both of his legs and his hands, and then somehow shot himself in the back of the head. Weird. He
And
must
then,
have known something about the Clintons.
and then
uh,
okay.
I'm leaving that in on my end.
I had something lined up there, but it doesn't top that. So I don't even remember what it was now.
So his death certificate that was released by the French stated that Dirlewanger died on 7th June 1945 of natural causes.
Natural cause.
However, the certificate has been questioned, especially by German historians.
Wait a minute. A train spike. I mean, steel is made from things that come from nature.
True.
Everything is. So
I
therefore,
mean, you need iron in your blood.
right, definitely. So therefore, it was a natural cause.
That's how it happened.
Yes.
No, that's how it happened.
What?
They magnetoed his ass.
Oh.
Magneto pulled all the iron out of his blood, which means he pulled all of his blood out. Because Magneto was a concentration camp survivor.
It's all true.
It is. We
It's
just
all
connected
true.
the dots.
The X-Men, they're real.
Yeah. And I mean, let's be honest here. If we're talking about X-Men, the best intro music to any animated series that has ever existed is the X-Men theme song.
Damn right.
And honestly, that is one of the only times I ever got into an argument with my ex-wife, is because I'm an adult and I was watching X-Men on Disney Plus, and I walked out of the room, and her trying to do something nice, I will give her credit. She was trying to do something nice by getting the episode started so that when I walked out, it was just running.
But you wanted to hear the intro.
She hit skip intro, and I went, from the other room, I went, "What the fuck are you doing?" And she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "How dare you?" I'm sorry. And I'm like, "I didn't mean to snap. It just happened. But that's literally the best piece of music that's ever been written. Like, Mozart can suck it. Whoever wrote that is a genius."
Yeah.
Oh, man. Anyway. According to Rolf Michaelis, who is a Luftwaffe, according to Rolf Michaelis, a Luftwaffe lieutenant, Luftwaffe was the German Air Force, for anybody that doesn't know.
Okay, so it's not the French word for loofah sponge for people in the villages.
No, and it's not a type of waffle either.
Okay.
The Luftwaffe. It's a very, very airy Belgian style waffle, but not Belgian.
As long as it's not the. Never mind.
It's a Belgian waffle, but racist. Anti-Semitic Belgian waffle. So this guy's name was Anton Fusinger. He claimed he was Dirlewanger's cellmate, and he said that he witnessed Dirlewanger being gravely beaten by Polish guards in French service on the night of the 4th into the 5th, resulting in his death 2 days later. So they beat this man within an inch of his life and then let him suffer for 2 days before he died finally.
Well,
which
your fists, your nightsticks, anything that you could beat somebody, it's all natural because it's all made from organic material from the earth. It's all natural.
The only thing that
I got France's back. There's no war crime committed here.
The only thing that I'm going to say, like, I am very disappointed in these Polish guards. They could have beat him for longer and made him suffer for longer before he died, but I don't know, they just kind of called it in on this one. They really phoned it in. They didn't put their best foot forward. I think they could have done better.
You mean they could have stuck their foot all the way up his ass to drive the train spike even further?
Yeah, I mean, you could shove his foot up his own ass and break it off in there.
There you go.
So, however, nobody else in the prison corroborated any of these statements. And despite further research by the Polish Institute of National Remembrance, we didn't find anything either.
Nope.
Some contemporary Polish sources suggest that those guards could have been recruited from among former laborers, although a Polish survivor of the original Nazi camp at Althausen stated that its former Polish prisoners did not know anything about Dirlewanger's death.
I don't know. I was in such bad shape and everything. I really didn't know which way was up.
It's a real Ken McElroy situation. We didn't see anything.
Yeah.
That's a great story. Have you done him yet?
No.
Oh, Bill.
I know the story. I do know the story. I know the
Bill,
story.
that's the next episode I'm doing for your show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to do that one, but
okay. Go for it. There's a Vice, like a 5-part Vice documentary you really need to watch. Oh my God.
I've watched it. Yes. That one is definitely on my list.
The amount of people that are just like, I don't know what happened.
It's up there in the realm of course that's what happened.
Yep.
With the Gary Plichet story. A little
Both
bit of
justifiable homicide.
Yes.
I have to read his book, and I would love to talk to that dude on here because it's not necessarily history related, but it's something that I'm fascinated with. And I've said before, I'm allowed to break my rules on my show.
For Jody Plichet, yeah.
Yeah, they're rules that I imposed on myself. I'm allowed to break them if I want to.
Well, I can, let me know when you got an episode ready, and I'll see if he wants to get on there.
Honestly, I wouldn't even do any research for it. I would just be like, let's talk. I want to hear your side of it, because I've heard him on some other podcasts, and that dude, talk about coping through something atrocious with dark humor and just being able to see the jokes in it. And
if you want
a special kind of person.
On Crimes, Killers, Cults, and Beer. I mean, I didn't have him on the episode for, to specifically talk about what happened to him. I did interview him about kind of like the aftermath. That was the first time when we had him on. But he said, I want to come on and cover a serial killer.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So we covered Derek Todd Lee, Baton Rouge serial killer. Then he's like, I want to do the other one, Shane Gillis. Like, that's literally what his name is, the other Baton Rouge serial killer. So we have him on, and
not
he's
grilled
just
cheese is a night, Shane Gillis, I'm assuming.
No, and then he is. Oh, by the way, we're talking about Gary Plichet and his son Jody Plichet.
Why?
His son was kidnapped by his karate instructor and was basically molested for an entire year, and then the karate instructor kidnapped him. When he was arrested in California, he was extradited back to Baton Rouge, and I know you've seen this, especially around Father's Day, a picture of a man next to a payphone with a hat on and sunglasses holding a gun. That is Gary Plichet, and he one shot blew this man's brains out as he was being walked through the terminal of the Baton Rouge airport.
One shot under his arm. Didn't hit anybody else.
Yeah, and he was drunk too. So and he got away with, he spent a night in jail, and he basically got away with time served and probation.
Because again, a justifiable homicide.
Yep. So this McElroy story is in that same vein, and in a lot of ways it's more intense.
Yeah.
And but Jody came on also to cover the Stainer brothers with me, which was
that was not ringing a bell.
Well, it was where Steven Stainer was kidnapped, and something similar to what happened to Jody happened to Steven Stainer. His older brother, Kerry Stainer, became a serial killer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
3 episodes that I've had Jody on that had nothing to do with him, but although I did bring him on because of his experience and being able to talk about it in regards to what happened to Steven Stainer. So
that's wild. So let's finish this turd up here.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
So the lack of corroborating evidence led to even more rumors after the war ended about this guy. There was a lot of sightings of Dirlewanger that made their way around the world for years. Although the French recorded that he was buried on June 19th, 1945, there were rumors and tabloid stories kind of suggesting that he had escaped and lived on, including one pretty popular story of Dirlewanger serving with the French Foreign Legion in Vietnam during the First Indochina War, and then later defecting to Egypt to join. So the thing is, that story where he joined the French Foreign Legion is most likely a confusion between him and a actual concentration camp guard who I believe he was Ukrainian, who after the war escaped everything, joined the French Foreign Legion, and then this dude named Elihu Itzkovitz also joined the French Foreign Legion because he remembered this guy's face because he watched him kill his entire family.
Lovely.
And then he found his way into the French Foreign Legion after abandoning the Israeli army and maybe or maybe not lied his way in there and then found out what unit he was in. And then maybe or maybe not shot him about 75 times on the side of a road in Vietnam somewhere, and then just ran away and went back to Israel. I've accomplished what I came here to do. I'm going home. So this turtle supposedly, allegedly, later defected to Egypt to join Gamil Abdel Nasser's army, which in another variation of the story, he went to Syria instead of Egypt. He was even being still officially wanted by the Polish government for murdering over 30,000 people in Poland, even though he's dead. In response, the Department of Public Prosecution in Ravensburg, Germany, arranged the exhumation of Dirlewanger's corpse to confirm his identity in November of 1960. The place of his burial was confirmed, but it was later liquidated before they could get to him to dig up his body. So that means they had already exhumed all the corpses and probably cremated them. So I like to think that he got beaten to death in prison, that he didn't get to run away and be, Johnny Badass in the French Foreign Legion.
Well, I'll say it on my podcast. I'm not speculating. That's how it happened.
Yep. And with episodes like this, I like to end them with this, rest in piss, Oscar Dirlewanger. Fuck you.
I like it.
One of the very few times that I will probably not cut an F-bomb out of my show, but it's deserved.
I think very much so. I mean, I'm sure you gave us the PG-13 version. Not the R-rated version.
I didn't skimp out on a lot of detail.
Okay.
The only one that I skipped out on was there's a story in Belarus where he sent in about 300 soldiers into an elementary school.
Oh.
And they did exactly what they did.
Yeah.
To the tune of about 500 kids. And when they went in to review what had been done, not all of them were shot. A lot of them were beaten to death with rifles or stabbed with bayonets or strangled. Other things that I don't want to think about happening to kids.
Right.
But yeah, he was that kind of guy where he saw a school and went, yeah, that's a nice target. Let's go after that too. But yeah, this guy sucks, and I'm glad he's dead.
Likewise.
So, not one of the good guys I'm going to cover, but I kind of realized that so I'm in season 2 of my show, and I seem to be in a villain arc because I've covered a lot of bad people so far, really bad people. I mean, I covered a Confederate soldier who created the KKK. This will be 3 Nazis in very quick succession. Yeah. And I've got some more not good people to cover this season too.
Damn.
Which, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, but including a trip to Africa, which is going to be wild, but also incredibly bad. Because it seems like every time I've covered a topic on my show where I go to Africa, it usually ends pretty badly. So, yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. So this was uplifting, right?
Very. Yeah, uplifting my lunch.
All right, Bill. Well, why don't you, for my people, tell us where we can find you and what you do over there in Florida.
Well, you can find me anywhere in the entire world where you have internet access. You just type in crimes, killers, cults, and beer, and boom, you'll find it. It's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple, it's on everything. But you're gonna get deep dive stories on, similar to the content, the links that Kevin here goes through on his as far as research and whatnot. You're going to get the whole story, but we're also going to do what Kevin and I were doing here in this one and making fun of the bad guys because
You have to.
it's fun. So
Your show is one of those where it's like you get exactly what it says on the tin.
mhm.
You
Yeah.
look at the title. If you look at the title of your show and go, "I wonder what this is about,"
Yeah.
you probably shouldn't have internet access.
Right. And for example, I mean, I just totally in 3 episodes I made BTK my bitch.
Which is fantastic. Because if anybody deserves it more than him when it comes to serial killers, I can't think of him off the top of my head. Because he was such a wet blanket turd.
Yeah, and I will say this too. I will put my BTK series up against anybody's, and I'm looking at Last Podcast on the Left. I'm looking at True Crime Kent. I don't know if he's covered BTK, but Necronomicon, whatever. I will put mine up against anybody's.
The one that I would do that with, and I dare anybody to find someone who covered it other than like the movie or the guy that wrote the book that covered the Battle of Mogadishu better than me.
Yeah.
Send it to me. I want to hear it. Or North Hollywood. Because most people that cover that are like, I want to do it in 44 minutes because that's how long the shooting lasted. I'm like, I was an hour and a half on their background before I even got to the shooting. Just on the background of the 2 guys that did it. Then it was another like hour and 40 minutes on the event.
Right.
So yeah, try me.
I mean, I did almost 3 hours on Danny Rolling.
But he's like right in your neck of the woods, though. I mean,
yeah, 2.5 hours on him, and then 30 minutes on Sandra London. So
that one's not ringing a bell.
As his girlfriend.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So.
And that guy had a girlfriend, and I'm single. Like,
yeah, I don't think he'd want Sandra London.
Yeah. Desperate times, my man.
Even though I have to pay royalties to her for my version of his song.
Huh?
I have to pay royalties. His song "Mystery Rider," the little folk song that he recorded on a tape recorder in a hotel room with him singing and playing guitar.
Yeah,
I did a metal version of it, and at one point I had it up. But I had, I took it down, but I had it up, and in order to do that, I had to pay royalties to Sandra London because she owns his estate.
Oh, you should have like ding 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 it.
No, because when you upload it, you have to put who wrote it, and if I have to say that I did not write it, so therefore I have to pay royalties to Sandra London.
And speaking of paying royalties and getting like semi screwed over, the most recent episode that I just released in my show, New Jack, the pro wrestler I covered, I've put up like, I want to say I've got like 20 episodes up on YouTube. That was the first time I've gotten a content warning because I played one of his promos that he did at one of the wrestling companies he worked for. I should have cut it off a little bit sooner, but I copy pasted the entire thing and put it in where YouTube's like, nope, you got to take that out. Spotify was like, nah, go for it. So if you watch on Spotify, you get to watch it. If you watch on YouTube, you don't. But yeah, I mean, you got anything else you would like to add to?
No, I just want to, the reason there's been a lot of cross promotion talking about our shows back and forth is because, for a lot of you, this is your first time seeing me, and vice versa for him. So you get a horrible story and some little bit of, plugs for
some goofs,
each other's,
some gags.
Yeah. It's all good, but we
with our particular brands of like weird and dark humor to cope
exactly.
with terrible things.
But I appreciate you helping me get my show back up
For
and
sure, man.
running,
Absolutely.
and thanks for basically taking the lead. I mean, it's not like he's coming in to, I mean, he it's not like I asked him to do this. He's like, I've got these stories because
Yeah.
I really don't have time to write episodes right now without a co-host and all that stuff. Then I'd have, but whatever, blah 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 blah. It's a bunch of stuff that behind the scenes of podcasts and everything.
Life
But
be life, and
yeah, so he stepped in and he's unofficial, unofficial official member. There we go.
oh,
So,
and
and anyway, thanks a lot for listening, and you History Goon listeners, I hope you come over and check out CKCB, and CKCB listeners, go check out History Goon.
yeah,
Because I listen to History Goon, he listens to CKCB.
Yeah,
and
we
we
may
get
as well
along.
listen to both of us at the same time.
Right.
All I'm going to tell you is if you like my show and you like his show, and you're listening to this episode in one or the other, just download it on the other one too.
Yeah.
Exactly. As for me, you can find me everywhere fine podcasts are sold. I am also I got a YouTube channel, History Goon Pod, Instagram, Facebook, all over the place. If you'd like to find other fantastic content, Patreon, you can head over to patreon.com/1159media, where you get $5 a month. It gets you early access to History Goon. It gets you early access to Guessnicity with Luther. It gets you early access to Almost Fiction with Chase. It gets you early access to 911 calls with the operator. Also gets you backdoor access to the Never Daily with Sam and Chase. I'm still trying to figure out if Sam and the operator are the same person. I know I work for him technically. I can't figure out if they're the same guy or not. I've never seen them in the same room together.
I have.
I've never seen Sam and Op do an episode together, so is this a Batman thing? I don't know.
I've met Op. He's.
But have you met Sam? Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
But that $5 a month gets you early access. I'm sorry, backdoor access to the Never Daily and also Guessnicity, where you can go on and interact with the hosts as they're doing stuff. It's a lot of fun. I've been on both shows a couple of times. It's good, and for $5 a month, you can't get a good coffee for $5.
No.
So give it to us instead. Get a gas station coffee. And if you want to support me directly, I have a Ko-Fi. It's ko-fi.com/History Goon Pod. Any donations you make there go directly to me. Greatly appreciated for any kind of upgrades or things that that's helpful. And yeah, that's what we got. So we're all going to die someday. So go out and leave. I got to do my whole sign off. Damn it. It's muscle memory.
Go ahead.
So until next time, we're all going to die someday. So go out and do some goon shit and leave a mark on the world. Maybe not like Oscar Dirlewanger. Thanks.
Right.
Love you. Bye.
And have a beer while you do it. Although I won't be joining you because I don't drink anymore. Until next time. Later.